Hello and welcome to Mostly Mets. I'm Jimmy Mack, and today I just want to go over some things that happened over the last day or so in Mets land. First off, we have Jose Quintana signing with the Brewers to a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. Listen, I've been saying it since the beginning. I didn't think Quintana was coming back. I didn't think it was the worst idea in the world to bring him back, but I just didn't think it was a direction that they were trying to go in. And this kind of proves it, right? $4.5 million for 1 year. If the Mets wanted to bring him back on that deal, it would have been done. It's not a lot of money. I understand it doubles because of the salary situation that the Mets are in, being over the cap or the tax. But listen, this isn't a big loss. I don't think he was ever coming back anyway. I think they'd already moved on. They didn't really want Quintana back. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I understand people are disappointed, but it was something that was probably never going to happen anyway. The next thing, the reason that I am not so concerned about the Quintana, signing elsewhere, is if you look at what the Mets did last night and what Senga did last night, he looked really good. He looked like he was back to form. He was throwing 96, or at least he got up to 96 and consistently 92 to 95 this early in spring. He showed his new pitch, that two-seamer sinker, that looked good. And, I think as long as he's healthy, he's going to be great. He's going to be back to where he was before the injury. And I don't think they really needed to add a pitcher. So watching Senga pitch, come out of it healthy, obviously throwing a lot more in the bullpen after. He was only supposed to pitch 1 inning. He ended up pitching 2 because his pitch count was low. He just looked good, and he looked back to normal, different than maybe we saw last year in the playoffs. So great to see Senga get on the mound, show he's healthy. Great thing overall to see. In the same game, you also had David Peterson, who looked even better, right? Peterson is a guy who last year definitely overperformed. He's a guy who we didn't really have a lot of faith in coming to last season, but he really went above and beyond it and played way above his career numbers last year. And we kind of looked at the advanced metrics and said, I don't know if this is going to last. He probably is more lucky than good. And, hopefully he can continue. Hopefully he can at least stay a reliable rotation piece. But last night he looked great. Pitched 3 innings, 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, only gave up 1 hit. He really just looked like he did last year. And it's spring training, it's the Marlins, so you don't know that that's going to continue. But overall, it's encouraging to see that maybe he figured something out last year, and maybe he's going to continue to be a solid piece in this rotation. So you look at Senga, you look at Peterson, you look at what Clay Holmes has done. That's a really solid top 3 in your rotation, and maybe the pitching staff isn't as bad as people are saying, right? Now, the back end we can talk about, right? But we do have guys who are injured who will be coming back. You add Mania back into that mix, and then you really only have to worry about your 5 and 6 starters. Not a big deal. Your top 4 is going to be super solid once Mania is back. And then later on, you get Montas back. Really good, solid pitching rotation. So I'm very encouraged by what I've seen so far. There's another guy who we've all been encouraged by so far, and that's Max Kranick. He's another guy who pitched last night, pitched an inning and a third, got 3 strikeouts, fastball looks great. He just looks like a steal. Looks like the Mets got a guy who is going to be a big-time contributor for them. Maybe we didn't expect it. I don't see him being in the rotation, but being that multi-inning reliever, or maybe even like an opener if they need to have an opener one day. Really solid, looks really good, and I think he's going to play a big part in the Mets moving forward this season. And that's really all I got about on the field. There was not much offense going on. It was, ended in a 1-1 tie. None of their, starters or regulars got any hits or did anything really in the game. So not much to talk about on the offensive side, but the pitching looked great. Even Brazaban last night, he pitched an inning, didn't give up anything. So he's been really good this spring training as well. He's another guy fighting for that last, the last bullpen spot. And he's been great. I don't think he's given up a run yet this spring, and he's pitched 3 or 4 times already. So he's looked really good. Now, last thing I want to get into is something that's kind of just ridiculous at this point, right? We all know who Andy Martino is from SNY. He is the reporter, basically, for the Mets and the Yankees for SNY. We all know he's a Yankee fan. And last night, he said that Juan Soto is getting comfortable with the Mets, but he misses the Yankees, and he loved his time there and learned how to win. Now, I understand if you want to say that he loved his time with the Yankees, and you could say he liked the organization. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nothing at all. But to say that he misses the Yankees, I mean, did you see the video last night of him hanging out with Starling Marte and Francisco Alvarez and a couple other guys joking around, laughing in the dugout? You don't see that with the Yankees. He's now himself. He's able to be himself. The Yankees are corporate. The Mets are fun. No matter what you want to say about winning and whatever, I think it's more fun to be a Met than it is to be a Yankee. Guys on the Yankees don't seem like they're having that much fun. They just don't. Also, the Yankees taught him how to win is a ridiculous statement. He lost in the World Series last year. He actually won a World Series when he was with the Nationals, so I don't think he really needed to be taught how to win. He did that at 19 years old with the Nationals, so a ridiculous statement right there. Also, Andy Martino likes to use words like my thought or my take on it or from my understanding, right? When he says that, it's just his opinion. It doesn't mean anything. He didn't hear it from any sources. Juan Soto himself didn't tell him that. It's his feeling on the situation. So it's completely his opinion and his biased opinion. I know Met fans were upset about it, but really at the end of the day, all Andy Martino is trying to do is to tweak Met fans and to get more clicks and get more views. And then he doubled down on it in a tweet against someone else and then just went silent on it. So don't get too tweaked about it. It really doesn't matter what Andy Martino says. We all know where his loyalty lies. He works for SNY, but he's a Yankee guy, and that's fine. He's a leftover of the Wilpon era. The only reason he's still employed is because he's a Wilpon employee. If Steve Cohen owned SNY, I don't think he would really have Andy Martino around. Just don't think he would. So, at the end of the day, he's another clown like Michael Kay or like the guys on WFAN. Like, they're all just clowns. They put things out for clickbait. That's what they do. That's what I'm supposed to do, right, on YouTube. And I don't even really try to do that. Those guys are supposed to be professional reporters, and they just don't act like that. But anyway, that's really all I got today. Try not to get too tweaked about, the clown, Andy Martino. But yeah, that's really all I got. If you're still here, you like this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment what you think down below. And until next time, let's go Mets.